I've been asked to speak about something, and I thought it would be best to speak from a personal experience and how yoga has helped me through this pandemic. This COVID is obviously, as you all know, has affected our not just physical health, but also our mental and emotional health, as well as having financial and economic consequences. But one story that I'd like to share, and I'll be very, very quick. I know we've been given only 5 minutes and shortened from 10 minutes. But in March 2020, when the country came into lockdown, my very, very dear friend contracted COVID-19 and was taken into the ICU. He is a young guy, 50-year-old guy with 2 little children, with the girls being my girls' best friends. So the family was obviously going through a terrible time. And as an Indian, as usual, I wanted to support them. And the way I did it was offering food every day to the family while they were stuck in their homes, and their dad and their husband was in the ICU in the ventilators. He was on the ventilator and in the ICU for 38 days. On the 3rd week, the doctor called his wife to ask for consent to take the ventilator off because he was not getting better and his lungs were completely destroyed through the COVID-19. To cut the story short, he is back home now, but there were a lot of lessons that were learned during this time. And the main one that were learned from my perspective, as I went through the journey with his family, were how to build resilience. And what I tapped into was the Yoga Sutras. I know a lot of speakers here before have referenced that text, but it is very important to remember that we in the yoga philosophy have many tools to manage our mental well-being, especially to build resilience. Number 1 is Shraddha Virya. And Shraddha is my, Mr. Desikachar always said, when Shraddha enters from the front door, fear leaves from the back door. So these 2 things cannot ever exist together. We don't have to be complacent. We have to follow the guidelines so that we stay safe, but to overemphasize the fear leads to anxiety and other mental health disorders. So to build resilience, it's really important to keep Shraddha in your heart. And earlier, one of these speakers and the coordinator did this beautiful practice of bringing consciousness into your heart. This is where Shraddha sits. Shraddha is that factor that holds you and contains you. And that was the one tool that helped me contain that family. And I'm hoping that that family was contained by having faith and trust in whatever universal consciousness that exists to protect us. The number 2 tool that Yoga Sutra offers us to build resilience in any crisis, not just the pandemic crisis, is Maitri Karuna Mudita, which is friendliness, gratitude, non-judgment. To live a life with these tools. Yoga is not about physical postures only. It has a lot of other aspects to it that we can intentionally cultivate within us so that we can have a more fulfilling life. And the last tool that I would like to offer, no, I don't want to offer it, but Patanjali has offered, but I'd like to mention it, is Ishvara Pranidhana. And this is one of the tools that is probably the most important one for a lot of us. And believe it or not, it actually means absorption. It is absorption into whatever commitment we decide on, just surrendering and doing our action and fulfill that action through our dharma is Ishvara Pranidhana. Isaac Newton in 1918 in the Spanish flu, when 100 years back, they were all in lockdown, created and found gravity during lockdown, found the science of optics, and also found, I have it here, the calculus. He also discovered calculus during lockdown. And that can only be done when you leave fear away, have Shraddha, and completely absorb in your dharma of creating science, and for us in terms of integrating health, mental and physical and emotional. Thank you very much. Like Krishna ji mentioned, we have just published a study in a peer-reviewed journal. It is the first in the UK study on rheumatoid arthritis, which was held in Central Middlesex Hospital. It's the first study conducted in the NHS and first study for traditional yoga therapy to be published in a peer-reviewed journal. I will send the link of that peer-reviewed journal and the article in the chat box here if you would like to read it more. And if anybody would like to have any sessions or would like to know more about the yoga therapy in London, I can leave my details in the chat box as well. Thank you very much. I'll just finish off with a quick Shanti chant. I know I have maybe 1 minute more.
Not even 1 minute. So if you could just,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brahaspatehe Shanno Vishnurrukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva pratyaksham brahmasi Tvameva pratyaksham brahma vadishyami Ritam vadishyami Satyam vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadbhaktaramavatu Avatu mam Avatu Taram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much.